Welcome back to the Name Redacted podcast, America's most beloved podcast, the most downloaded Red Sox podcast in the fucking world, Tyler!
We're splitting.
I don't care that it's a split. I mean, that feels as good as a series win, doesn't it? It's fucking 4 games against the Houston Astros.
Suck on it.
And you know what? If you win the last 2, it feels like a series win. It feels like a series win. I said that. Like, if you play a 3-game series and you win 2 out of 3, that means you win 2 games. The Red Sox did what?
They won 2 games.
They won 2 games, Tyler. They went into Houston. They won 2 games. It was the last 2 games of the series. Therefore,
suck on it.
The Red Sox get all the positivity horn that they want. Because not just, Tyler, not just did they win 2 games, but in the finale, they scored 17 fucking runs. How many hits?
About 24.
24 fucking hits in the finale. Verdugo, 4 for 7. Devers, 2 for 5.
What?
JT had a RBI knock. Casas came off the bench and had a knock. Duvall, 2 more hits. Had 50 in the series. Masataka Yoshida. 2 hits. Pablo Reyes. 2 hits. Wilyer Abreu. 4 fucking hits. Luis Arias. 2 hits. Connor Wong. 4 fucking hits. Wait, one more time. What a fucking game. What a series. What a series. Brian Bayo goes out there and does what, Tyler? 7
innings.
Fucking innings. 1 earned run. No dingers. Big Loosh shutting it down. What a game for the Sox. God damn, hasn't this series been a microcosm of the whole season though?
It's the perfect way, and I can't remember the last time I heard a manager, and Alex Cora said it after the game, and I was surprised hearing him say it.
Suck on it.
Yes, but also being like, have you watched this team this year? We're a roller coaster. Like, he said it. What we've all been saying for months, all season long, like, enjoy the ride. There's going to be highs. There's going to be lows. They're going to yo-yo back and forth. Their fucking manager said it. Yeah. It was like, if I don't know what else to tell you, have you been watching the games? Like, this is the least surprising thing to me ever. And I think that's how everyone felt for the most part watching it. I know the first 2 games, I felt like that was a rock bottom for a lot of people. A lot of people started saying, you know, I'm good. The playoff odds fell to 9%. Well, they're back up to 15%. You are where you were before the series started. And that's all you can really ask for, considering how ugly the first 2 games were.
It was disgusting, actually. Like, I refrained from tweeting anything big picture after the first 2 games, but I was thinking it. You all were thinking it. You all were thinking it after the first 2 games. You sweep the Yankees, you come into Houston, you just shit down your leg in the first 2 games of that series, and you're thinking, all right, well, that's the season. I mean, you had your shot to go in there and make a statement against a really good Houston Astros team. And what did you do? You just laid a big fat egg. The first game, you get your doors blown off 9-4. By the way, we'll talk about the Adam. It started off so positive too. It started off so positive with the Adam Duvall homer that Kevin Millar called. Almost, what was it? 2 pitches prior, right?
Yeah, 2 pitches.
Yeah, 2 pitches prior. Kevin Millar goes in there and calls it. But outside of that, James Paxton, PU, you stink. Should have traded this dude. All
right, I'd reel it in a little bit there. It wasn't just him. How about his defense actually make a fucking play? How about you make a fucking play?
Defense
for the
was
guy?
bad, I said.
Thank you. Please, some accountability here. I'm not telling you to say anything because let's be real. We can get right into it. James Paxton, his 2 biggest starts in a Red Sox uniform, he's pissed down his leg. Like that's the reality. August 4th against the Blue Jays right after the trade deadline, when you needed to show up in that series, first game, He didn't get it done. It was like, 5 innings and 4 runs or whatever.
Yeah.
This 4 innings, 6 earned. But God help you. The defense those first 2 games was as bad as I've seen the Red Sox play. And in the first inning, it was a problem. That doesn't save the run, but you're making a guy continue to work and work and work. And we know James Paxton, he's similar to Yoshida, I think in some ways. There's clearly a wall these guys are hitting, and they're trying to grind through it right now.
What's your frustration level with Rafael Devers' defense?
I think some people were like at 7 and 8. I'd call it like a 6. Like overall, I'm pissed. I'm annoyed. Am I at the point where I'm saying, oh my God, we're stuck with the DH for the next fucking 10 years. How are we going to do this? Hell no. He's better than the way he's playing. We all know he's better than the way he's playing. And the reality is he's tied for the MLB lead in errors right now. That's where Rafael Devers is. And, if you told me that coming into this year, I would have told you, no, I expected another step forward. Who's he tied with? Javier Baez, the guy that people pushed out here faster than anyone, Kike Hernandez and CJ Abrams.
Yeah.
He is at the worst, 3rd percentile outs above average, -9 outs above average on the season. But last year, I watched that guy take a step forward, be 23rd percentile in outs above average while on a bum hamstring.
Also, the thing about Rafael Devers' defense is that he'll make a bonehead play, or it'll be a tough, like some of those plays that he was getting beat up for. Like now we're at the point where I think people are kind of out to get him from a defensive perspective. And he brought it on himself. Like he has not played well defensively this year, but there were a couple plays in this series where it was like a tough hop or whatever. There were a couple plays that were really tough for him to be able to make, or any third baseman to be able to make. But people are like, oh my God, here we go with Raffy's defense again. It's like, all right, pump the brakes. Like, yes, it's not been good, but some of the plays some of the plays that people are expecting him to make, it's just like, that's just not like a gimme type third baseman play.
But like, I think part of it is too, like how many, he should have over 20 errors this season. If we're being fair, if it's a normal baseball season where scorers aren't sipping lean or whatever they're sipping during these games, he has over 20 errors this season. It's really not a conversation.
It hasn't been
should
good.
have had. No, he should have at least 3 over the last 4 or 5 days that he hasn't gotten.
I've been very disappointed with it. I think that it's now, there's no one singular reason why. I think that there's a combination of, by the way, breaking news, Roman Anthony saw my base hit tonight. So just saying.
Ooh.
Yep. Saw my little knock.
Manny Ramirez.
Yep. Yeah. I'll keep you as the Instagram views keep coming in. I'll let you know who else has seen it. Will Middlebrooks has seen it. Jaron Duran has seen it. Zach Kelly has seen it. Yeah, just a lot of people probably drawing baseball inspiration from seeing that tonight.
I'm inspired.
Joe Jakes has seen it.
The whole roster.
Pretty much the whole roster has. They're probably sending it in the group text right now, being like, "Yo, does he fucking Carabas looks like Manny Ramirez?"
Scored 17 runs today, and this is what they're watching on the team flight.
Yeah, they're flying back to Boston. They're all just passing the phone around, being like, "Dude, he legit looks like Manny Ramirez at the plate," and it's undeniable.
Mookie's coming to town. Watch this.
I even scored a run too.
Wheels?
No.
Oh God!
It was actually pretty funny. The like got the knock, advanced the second, and then some dude hit a ball down the line, and fucking third base coach is waving me in. And I was just like, nope.
Giancarlo Stanton, I have nothing left in the tank.
Yeah, he was waving me in. I was just like, absolutely not. Threw on the brakes, went back to third. And then like another kid got a hit and I ended up scoring on that. But by the time I got back in the dugout, I was fucking toast. Like I couldn't breathe.
Back in my day, man, I was a speedster. I can move pretty quickly. They called me Square Wheels on my on one of my summer league teams.
That means you're not fast, right?
Square? No. I just assumed it, it took a little bit to get going, but they're still wheels. They work. Jake, you ever heard anyone fast get called that?
No, that means you're slow as fuck.
Can we get back to the baseball?
Yeah, let's get back to baseball. By the way, I'm just Just throwing it out there. The base hit was off a pitcher from BC. The throw was like high 80s. So
high 80s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No practice or anything before this? Had you been looking at any pitching just to get used to velocity?
No, but he was a lefty, and I crushed lefties. Crush them.
Rob Refsnyder over here.
Crushed lefties. You know who else crushed lefties? Manny Ramirez. That's
true.
You throw a lefty out there, I don't care how hard you're throwing. I'm fucking ripping that shit at the old time baseball game. By the way, there's some other bullshit. Every year that I played in the old time baseball game, fucking Steve would be there, and I would go up there, strike out. 90 videos on Twitter of me striking out. I fucking hammer this thing back up the middle. Not a single video. No one posted the video. I was like, bro, how did you guys not have your fucking camera phones out to record history? Insane. Get the knock, get to first. I asked for the baseball. They gave it to me. And then I had the pitcher sign the ball, and then I had the umpire sign it because it was a 2-2 count, and he called a pitch that was like, it was borderline. It was a little outside, but it was borderline. And I had him sign. I was like, thank you for not punching me out on that third. What was that? Second ball. Yeah.
The anti-Alex Cora.
Yeah. I had the umpire sign the ball, and I had the pitcher sign the ball, and I gave the ball to my mom. Anyway,
you didn't keep it?
No, I gave it to my mom. That's probably like the last time I'll ever play in a game. Like that woman has sat through so many baseball games watching me play, like in the rain and the freezing cold. And I was so bad for my entire life. So to be able to end my baseball career with a fucking base hit up the middle against a Boston College pitcher, you're keeping that baseball. You earned that shit. So I'm done. I'm retired.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You and Steven Strasburg on the same day.
Yeah. People ask me like in the dugout, they're like, when's the last time that you like got like a real hit like in a game? And I was like, 2010? I don't know.
Jesus.
Yeah. Like baseball.
I was still an active player at that time.
Yeah. Like that'd be like like baseball is just not a sport that you can roll out of bed and be able to play at a high level. You just can't do that. Unless you're me, then it's just fucking easy. It's super easy. So
thank you for your service.
You don't have to thank me. Thanks Steve Buckley for putting on the old time baseball game. And what do you think the DraftKings odds are that I am not actually retired and that I do come back someday?
Whoa, this is sounding legit. Just the voice, you giving that ball to your mom.
Mm-hmm.
What you'd be spitting in your own mother's face to play again, basically.
Yeah, I did. Oh, by the way, so we filmed an episode for Nesson Like a Pro. I was mic'd up the whole time, and I had a Christian Arroyo moment where I'm in right field.
You pulled your hamstring?
No, the ball got hit up in the air, like above the lights. Like I saw it off the bat, and then it just went into the sky, and I just like looked up. I was like, fuck. Like couldn't see it. And then like by the time I saw it coming down, I was like, that is way over my head. And I had to go like run after it. I was like, God damn it. And then I was all winded. I was all out of gas, like trying to find the fucking baseball and like run it down and get the ball back in. And I was batting second. I was starting batting second. So I was like, I am winded. And now I got to go hit. I was like, I was already making excuses for myself. I was like, I can't breathe. And now I got to go hit. But I think it was a good thing. Like not that I felt like great embarrassment, but like the whole like, fuck. Like the bad thing happened to me in the first inning defensively. So I had no fear of striking out. I was just like, all right, the bad thing, like the worst has already happened. Like I lost the ball in the lights.
Yeah, I can understand that. There is a different level of embarrassment because like everyone's watching. You strike out, it is what it is. Like you kind of can go sit down. Losing a ball in the lights, like Christian Arroyo said, that fear, that panic. Now, did you never saw it, or were you able to pick it up right before it hit the ground?
I saw it immediately off the bat, and then once it got above the lights, couldn't pick it up in the sky until it was on its way back down. And by the time I picked it up on the way back down, I was like, that is definitely over my head, and I'm just going to turn around and start running.
Did anyone else lose a ball in the lights throughout the night?
No, but like the dude in left was like, thank God. He's like, the second that got hit in the air, like I knew it wasn't getting caught. He's like, I lost it too in left. So
okay, all right. So you can't make fun of you that much.
yeah, no one made fun.
I would have caught that ball, but
maybe you would have if you were standing directly where it landed for sure.
No.
Oh, you would have been able to
great. Yeah, great routes.
Okay. All right. Well, next year, Tyler will be playing in the old time baseball game next summer. And come out and see him. You fucking muted your mic. You are a real piece of work, my guy. Anyways, that was my night. Shout out to Steve Buckley, old time baseball game for a great cause. I think it's called the Boston House, supporting MS. So check that out. Donate, support the cause. But you've waited all year, and the time has finally arrived. College football is back, and so are the traditions, the tailgates, and the great offers from the DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, new customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on any college football bet. Kick off the season with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app. Use the promo code Jared, Jared. New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on any college football bet, only on the DraftKings Sportsbook with the promo code Jared.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369. In West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. In partnership with Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races. All games regulated by the West Virginia Lottery. Please play responsibly. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. 21 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, we kind of hit on the first game a little bit here. Paxton, PU, the Duvall homer. Like, do you want? Because I feel like, you know what? We'll get to the Duvall homer later, because I think someone's gonna have a little something to say about that. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Like, come on.
I do want to add one thing on the Red Sox defense for the people who, because I saw someone post on the subreddit. They're like, "Oh, you guys, like, you know, can you hit on that? Can you give a little bit more on that?" Red Sox, just for perspective wise, right? Like, we're talking where they are and what they need to do moving forward. They're last in abouts average this season at -54. The Reds are 29th at -23. Since 2017, since they started tracking it, the all-time worst team is the 2017 Mets, who are -58. So more likely than not, by the end of the season, the Red Sox are going to be the worst defensive team ever in terms of outs above average. So that's where they're trending. It's going to be something they're going to have to take on the chin and accept. Now, I do think they're trending in the right direction. Getting Trevor Story back, we got to talk about how good he looked defensively at points in the series, but bad. It's bad. It's been a problem for years now, and that needs to be one of their main focuses. Not that I don't think they tried to address it a year ago. They brought Jackie Bradley Jr. in. They brought, Trevor Story in. Even this year, Kike was supposed to be your center fielder. Trevor Story was supposed to be a shortstop from day one. It didn't work out that way. But I don't know. I have a hard time getting overly mad at Chaim Bloom for Rafael Devers, because there's not a single person here that, said, "Oh, Raffy didn't deserve the contract he got." That didn't go and say, "Oh, I think he made progress at third base a year ago." And, after they sent him home with that offseason plan, him and Bogarts going into 2022, it just seems more mental than anything. Like you said, it's the routine plays. It's not the rangy plays. He made a couple of those rangy plays in the series that look great. But I think we're seeing for him frustration reach a level I've never seen Rafael Devers have. That moment on Tuesday where he was in the dugout, he kind of...
Yeah.
I've never seen him that angry before.
I have.
Or if I have, Xander Bogaerts was there to put his arm around him. Yeah, there was no one to do that. And that's no disrespect to Justin Turner or what's going on. It's obviously just a different dynamic. But it seemed like he didn't have that guy to kind of put his arm around him in that moment. And the reality is he's supposed to be that guy now. So it's a hard adjustment. It's a young player becoming the leader and having to learn what it's like when shit ain't going your way and everyone's looking at you.
Yeah.
He cares, though. You can't say the dude doesn't fucking care.
Who was saying that? Like, that's such a wild take. that he.
People were like, "Oh, he got fat. Like, who cares? He got $300 million." Devers, was he having weight problems in 2020? Yeah, that was a real thing when he showed up and he wasn't in the condition he needed to be. Since then, he's been put together. He's looked fine. He's well, he can play third base. Like, there's nothing wrong with the body. He just needs to be more consistent, better concentration, and kind of go from there. It's just inconsistency. And Alex Cora himself said it. Like, the play has been inconsistent, but no matter what, after both of those games on Monday and Tuesday, he goes, as long as I'm manager here and Rafael Devers is here, that dude's my fucking third baseman. You got the vote of confidence, and that's where he needs to play. Because he's not going to be the DH moving forward. That's most likely going to be Yoshida. Casas is playing first base. So yeah, he just needs to get to where he was a year ago. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I never had questions or concerns about Rafael Devers' effort level or if he cared. He's always cared. It's just, the results weren't there from a defensive perspective. And then I think he had a slow start offensively and everyone was like, oh my God, it's just a complete punt season from Devers. And then he's heated up recently and you look at the numbers overall for the whole year and they're right where you would expect them to be. So
he's going to hit 30 bombs and over 100 RBIs.
There you go. Year one of Rafael Devers. Game 2, the Justin Verlander game. First of all, you know what? Fuck Justin Verlander, first of all.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Fuck him. Fuck him for saying that, for talking shit to Alex Cora. And I know that they were just kidding. You don't have to get all riled up about it. They were just kidding. But I'm saying fuck Justin Verlander because this was the Tanner Houck game. This wasn't the Justin Verlander game. This was the Tanner Houck game. Makes his return, 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned. Did walk 3, didn't love that. Only struck out 2, gave up a homer. But it was just good to see him back. It was good to see Tanner Houck back on a big league mound after taking a comebacker off the face and fracturing his fucking face. And it's been over 2 months, right? Over 2 months?
Yeah, June 16th.
Yeah, over 2 months since we have seen Tanner Houck. I was there that night. That was fucking scary. But yeah, for a kid that hasn't pitched against a big league lineup in over 2 months, 5 innings, 3 earned. Yeah, sign me up for that. Obviously, the 3 walks is not great, and the strikeouts weren't there, but 5 innings, 3 earned. That's a very good Tanner Houck start because even if it's like, oh well, if he didn't walk so many guys, he would have been able to throw more pitches and go deeper into the game. I'm happy with 5 innings from Tanner Houck. I didn't need anything more than that. Some of the quotes, I think he was asked before the start, like, do you have a pitch limit? And he was like, I don't care. Like, he's like, yeah, like maybe they have one in mind, but I'm not privy to it. And I'm like, all systems go. If they want me to go more, then I can go more type deal. So he's back. He's ready to go. What were your takeaways from Tanner Houck's outing?
Yeah, I thought he was fine. The pitch count was obviously like 75 to 80 once again and kind of trying to work within that. I think he was hurt by the defense, similar to James Paxton the day before, where I think the play you were kind of referencing earlier, like him maybe getting a little unfair blame. Bregman hit that like grounder that Devers couldn't get, and then Tucker took him deep. Tough play. I'm not going to flip out over that. I would hope Devers makes the play. Bregman's 21st percentile sprint speed. But what pissed me off after that was Chaz McCormick reaches on the throwing error. Houck, instead of getting out of the first inning on 18 pitches, has to throw 31. Like when you have a guy on a pitch count and you're trying to get by there, that's where you kind of get pissed and you say, come on, like you can't do that to a guy who's trying to, be as efficient as he can when the bullpen really needs it as well. And then you had kind of those moments later in the game with the Maldonado sack bunt. No one's covering home. That just seemed more heads up play. Tip my cap to Mauricio Duvall, Red Sox legend right there, or farm system legend. But yeah, I thought Tanner looked solid, as good as you could have asked for coming off the layoff, and he should be able to help you. And as you saw, it's given them more flexibility with the pitching staff, with Nick Pivetta the next night being able to come in. Cora has a little bit more room to be creative and kind of, pull the fire alarm if he needs to late in a game.
Yeah. Yeah. That play that you mentioned, the Mauricio Dubon play, I don't think it was Raffy's job to cover home plate, but I think Tanner Houck probably could have covered home plate on that play.
I think it was more one of those things. Like,
it was
I
also
tip my cap more than
play.
anything. Yeah, like it's a great heads up play. Dubon's fast. He's athletic. He hits home. Like you tip your cap. Sometimes a guy just makes a play. Devers was running as hard as he fucking could, and he was there.
Yeah.
Like, but it was going to take an absolutely perfect throw to get him out at the plate.
Yeah.
And you got Casas getting the ball at first base and trying to make it. It's more just heads up baseball. Props to the Astros on that. I'm not going to cry about that. There was plenty of other defensive stuff to bitch about in this game, especially like later in the game. Mauricio Jovera, what happened in that fucking, the 7th inning, right? Where he has the double play ball hit right at him, directly at him, and he throws it to Story, goes off Story's glove, who he should have been able to get at least one out. That completely broke the game open. And if they turn that double play, it's a 3-0 game, and the Red Sox could have tied it up in the 9th inning. Now, maybe they go differently in their bullpen because that's what the score is, but that sucks when your offense had done shit and then you get a homer out of Duvall. Turner gives you a 2-run single, and you're sitting there like, well, none of this shit matters because we couldn't play defense once again.
Yeah. Duvall went off. And
Crazy.
that wasn't the game that was yesterday, right? The when he fouled the ball off his fucking leg and then hit a bomb.
Yeah.
That was yesterday. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I get my Adam Duvall homers mixed up, but he homered in every game.
Yeah. Or, well, not today, but the first 3 games.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts.
We got April Adam Duvall for a stretch here.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get his timing. Cora said, like, the fastball's been beating him. Okay, well, now he's catching up to it. That was one of the more fun moments of the season, I thought, when he went deep in extras. But, yeah, I don't know. I thought that second game, it was just a weird-ass game. Verdugo getting ejected like he did in that 4th inning. I thought that was a tough look for him, if I'm being honest.
So, yes, it was, but also at the same time, like, I think he said after the game, a warning would have been nice first. But
at the same time,
I need to know what he said. What did you say?
Yeah.
Because, like, we're never going to find out because he's not going to say it and the umpires don't speak. But let's just say, for example, we do find out and someone's like, oh, he said X. And it's like, oh, well, no shit, he got thrown out. Then, yeah, like it's hard to kind of feel bad in that situation. You kind of would hold Verdugo a little bit more accountable in that situation because you said the magic word. But if he was really just arguing about balls and strikes and you're in the dugout, you probably think that you're a little bit more protected. And then I would agree. Maybe a warning would be nice. Like usually an umpire would just whip off the mask and be like, you shut up. Like enough out of you. And then like, okay, like this guy's, he's about to throw me out. But if your first instinct is to throw them out, then he probably said something that he shouldn't have.
I knew earlier in that game he didn't like a strike 3 call, or maybe it was a strike call in the middle of the at bat, and he kind of, he kind of talked back a little bit, but it wasn't crazy. Justin Turner had done it earlier in the game as well. But I guess for Verdugo, it's more along the lines of the optics of that game and how important it was after you dropped that first game. We're talking a couple weeks ago, you weren't available for this team when they needed you. And you end up getting benched during the most important series of the season at that point. Some would argue this is the most important series now, just based on where you are in the standings and where you need to go over this 10-game stretch. And you're forcing Will Abreu into the game, a kid who just got here with Jarren Duran going on the IL. And it's like, damn. And credit to Cora, dude. Cora did everything to try and get himself ejected instead of Verdugo.
Yeah,
he's
did.
Like, me, like, I'll go. Me, please tell me to leave. Like, I'll take the bullet for him. Just, let's not act like you heard the voice and you just pointed and who knows, like, whatever. Let's make life easy. And he was like, no, Verdugo, get the fuck out. And that, to me, that's where I kind of look. Obviously, he knew it was Verdugo, and it was pretty clear there that he wanted him out of the game. And Cora didn't really put much of a fight up about it. And we saw 2 innings or 3 innings later, he gets himself ejected. So he wasn't not in the mood to go at it or scream or anything like that. I think he probably heard like, all right, that's what it is. What can I say?
That would have been what? Cora's 3rd ejection in 4 games? 5 games?
No, 3 games. Second and 3 games. Ejected Sunday, and that would have been Tuesday.
Yeah, but he got ejected. He did get ejected in this series.
Yeah, a couple innings later after Verdugo.
Oh, that was the same game.
Same game, yeah.
4-game series. I get so fucking confused. I get so confused about the 4-game series. I'm just like, oh, what day was that? Oh, yeah. It's because it's a whole week, basically.
And Cora's ejection was just straight up like the team's fucking looks dead. Justin Turner,
Honestly,
it was a borderline
Dan
call.
Shaughnessy. I know people feel a certain way about Dan Shaughnessy. He made a great point. He was like, how does Justin Turner have some of the calls go against him the way that they do, and then he just totally keeps his cool? Like Justin Turner had two. I mean, the one that Alex Cora got ejected on, it was a ball. Like it was a ball. And I know that AC was probably worked up about like a completely different at bat. And it's like that happens a lot with managerial ejections where it's like it'll hit a boiling point and maybe what the play that you get ejected on isn't exactly like the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. But it's like, yeah, I'm actually pissed about like 3 plays ago. But a lot of them had to do with Justin Turner getting rung up on some pitches that maybe were not in the strike zone. There was one that was the one that he got that Cora got tossed on was like the pitch was not anywhere near the strike.
No, it was when Jovera was on the mound.
Yeah.
He's sitting there and it's like 3 fucking inches. Cora got off the step. I was listening to the audio before I came on. He goes, "Fuck you," and just starts running towards him. I was like, holy shit. And then when he was walking off the field, he got into it with the fans.
Yeah,
he started chirping at them. I'm like, whoa,
yeah.
AC,
well,
man. Like, go for it. Let it loose. But holy shit.
You know what that is like,
yeah, the cheating stuff.
But that, and also like he's hearing that all night and he's not turning around. So he's hearing that for the entire game standing there. And now that he knows that he's leaving, he's like, oh, by the way, fuck you and fuck you too. So, yeah.
And on top of it, like his former player and Justin Verlander's like, tell him to fuck off. And I don't think either one of them crossed the line because Cora gave it right back to him as well. But you add that all into the mix, and Justin Verlander was definitely fucking bending the rules there so he could get a couple extra seconds shaking off. But I've seen it happen to the Red Sox a few different times now this year. I don't blame him for being annoyed about that either.
This is actually a pretty funny clip. Fuck off, Alex. I hated that it made me laugh. But like at the end of the day, like I know that like there have been run-ins with players that just did not like Alex Cora. Like the Marcus Stroman one, I don't think that they actually get along. But this one, it's like, yeah, they won a World Series together. And I'm sure that like I think Cora talked in his post-game presser. He's like, yeah, he's like, we text, you know. Like, fuck off, Alex.
Fiery. Like it was good, fiery back and forth, like competitive guys. But I think Cora is just like, dude, I'm like the last 2 weeks, we've had some of the most ridiculous calls. Justin Turner in Washington, that ball that was like 5 inches off the plate. The Nick Pivetta ball on Sunday, that was right down the dick. Yeah. And then you get a couple borderline calls where in those first 2 games, your bats are cold. They're 4 for 28 with runners in scoring position. Fuck it. Let me try and fight. What do you have to lose at that point?
I don't even care that Nick Pivetta don't like me no more. I fucking love that guy.
Oh my God.
You can tell me to fuck off any day. See, that's the difference is like when you're good, you can tell me to fuck off and I'll be like, yeah, dude, let's go. Let's go Sox. But when you're Caleb Ort, fuck off. You suck. But a guy like Nick Pivetta, it's like, yeah, man, like, you know, if you really like Caleb Ort that much, then use that fire, take it out to the 10th inning with you, and let's get this fucking dub in Houston. Nick Pivetta, by the way, they were talking about on the broadcast where I don't even know if he was available that day, but when Kenley goes down with the hamstring, Pavetta's like, actually, I'm the guy. Like I'm pitching.
This is my job.
Yeah, he's like, I'm pitching, and Cora's like, okay, sounds good. If that's what you want to do, then that's what you want to do. So yeah, I love shit like that. I will support Nick Pivetta. I love the fire. I love the passion. I love that he cares. I can't remember where it was or who he said it to, but there was some sort of quote that he had talking about last year's team, like how he was like bawling his eyes out at the end of the year.
Alex Spear.
Okay. Yeah. Bawling his eyes out at the end of the year because he's like, like it's over. And like we leave our families and we sacrifice so much to win and to be here. We all want to win. And your teammates become family, and it's over now. Like, I'm not going to see some of these guys anymore. We're not going to be playing together anymore, and yada yada. Yeah, I mean, you can say Nick Pivetta is an asshole if you want, and I'm sure there's plenty of stories about him being an asshole, but like at the end of the day, that's the type of dude, like, you need an asshole like him. You need that like psycho that is just going to be like on his day to pitch, the guy that you cannot go near. You need those guys. Josh Beckett was one of those guys.
I think we've seen over time, does it rub off weirdly at times? Yeah. And so Josh Beckett did, right? Like, there's going to be certain situations like when he was getting demoted where you see that kind of ego and craziness blur the line and maybe not go over so well. But we saw him bend that leg when that happened. And, he's been one of the main reasons this team is where it's at right now. And I thought him following after Kenley, like, it was Nick Pivetta 2021. Like, that's the energy he brought. That's the way he approached it. It's hard not to root for a guy like that. And I thought there was a great point in that Alex Spear piece that you mentioned, where Pivetta came out and said, when I was in Philly, I fucked up. Like, I didn't buy in. And that was the reality of that situation. It's part of the reason I'm here today. But he learned from that. He understands now, like, fuck, man, like, I wasn't pitching well enough. I got to take responsibility. And it doesn't matter how I feel about my job or whatever it may be. If I go about it, people are going to change their opinions. I'm going to get more opportunities. And that's what it is. And I think if Kenley misses time here, if something crazy happens,
didn't he already say like, I'm good for Friday?
That's the hope. That's what they're hoping for. Now, more information came out today. That injury didn't happen while he was on the mound. He got hurt a couple days ago working out. So he tweaked something, went in game, and like just was letting it loose, and it barked. And he was like, I couldn't finish. And now we're going to give it a day or two and see where we're at. And they're hoping he can avoid the IL. But if he can't, I might give that closer spot to Pivetta, or at least him and Martin. You pick one of those two and let it fly, so you can keep your rotation. Cutter's starting tomorrow. Keep those guys in their roles without changing anything dramatic here.
Yeah, because
it feels like the pitching staff finally does have some consistency to it. Even though now we have some injuries coming in with Kenley and Jarren Duran on the position player side. But credit to Pivetta, man. Every time they ask him to fill a role or do anything, he's done every role you could possibly have for this pitching staff this year. Starter, bulk reliever, middle relief, late innings, multiple innings, like just trying to push like he did in 2021. I don't know how much more you can ask of a guy like that this year. Like, we were hard on him. I think it was deserved. He admitted he deserved it, but we always said this is why you shouldn't DFA him when people are asking for that. And props to him. He's made the adjustments.
He certainly has. At a time, I think like the thing that he deserves the most credit for is that when he was asked to go to the bullpen, or told rather to go to the bullpen, it seemed like it was going to be a disaster in the making. I was like, all right, he is not warming up to this idea at all. Like, this is not going to work out. And that was basically the turning point where it was like, now he's a good teammate. Now he's one of the most valuable pitchers on the staff. Like, he went from, man, this dude sucks, he's getting demoted to the bullpen, and he's pissing and moaning about it. So they're probably just going to get rid of him because this is just not, there's nothing of value here. And now there is a ton of value there with Nick Pivetta. So congratulations to Nick on turning his season around. Love the emotion out of him stomping off the mound. But last night, the third game of this series, well, is it a little bit dramatic to say that it had a little bit of a playoff feel to it? Is that being dramatic?
No, it's not, because I think you were seeing a Red Sox team knowing their backs are against the wall. And if we don't fucking find a way to win this game, then we're walking that way. You're falling another game back. You'd be 6 games behind for a wild card spot.
Yeah.
It's a hard pill to swallow at this point in the year, especially with the games you have coming up.
And by the way, this game did not start off in a favorable manner for the Boston Red Sox. Bottom of the second inning, you had Maldonado goes deep to make it 3-0 Houston. By that point, you're thinking, well, thanks for coming out. Like, this is probably going to be a sweep at this point. Like, Maldonado can't hit for fucking shit. I mean, he had a few hits in this series, but like overall, not a good hitter, just not. And if you got that guy taking you deep, and it's only the second inning, you're looking up at the scoreboard thinking like it can only get worse from here. And then Alex Verdugo makes it 3-1. RBI double in the top of the third. Tristan Casas makes it 3-2 in the same inning with an RBI knock. And then Jose, this is the Chris Sale start, by the way. The Jose Abreu double down the line. Like that was, he just threw the fucking bat out at that one and it ended up finding some grass down the line.
But he fits right into that. Like, dude, Jose Abreu's fucking cooked, dude. Absolutely cooked bad.
Yeah,
And listen,
it's a bad year
for
for
a lot
him.
of people mad that he wasn't coming here when the Red Sox weren't willing to throw a ton of money at him.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure all of y'all are looking at Justin Turner and you're very thankful right now.
Correct. Point for Heim.
But holy shit. Like, that was one of those moments where I'm like, all right, another run goes in, but Sale finishes retiring 7 in a row, hitting 96. It's like, I don't know. He starts pushing himself a little bit more. He kind of realized he had to lean more on the slider than the fastball because Altuve goes and shoots it for a double on the first pitch. Props to Connor Wong behind the plate for changing their approach on all that.
Yeah.
Because clearly he needed to adjust something. I hope this is a step in the right direction. We have one good start, one bad start, and one meh start, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put it together. You need to put it together now. And hopefully you're getting to the point where, I think he hit 80 pitches on the dot or whatever it was. Now we can start treating you like a regular starter here.
Then Trevor Story with RBI knock in the fifth makes it 4-3 Houston.
Trevor Story game.
Yep. Wilyer Abreu ground out makes it 4-4. Now we're in extra innings and enter Adam Duvall.
Extra innings in Houston. Fouled away and he goes down.
Man, that was 99-mile-an-hour sinker. Not sure exactly where that hit him, but I'm going to tell you right now, that does not feel good. You can tell he's in some kind of pain.
I'm trying to walk on it now. He's going to hang in. Graveman with a 2-2 now. Swinging a drive. That one sucked to left field. It's back there. That ball's gone. It's gone. A 3-run blast on a bad foot. He crushes it here in the 10th inning. And the Boston Red Sox are out in front 7-4. He was in pretty serious pain there for a couple of minutes. You wondered if he would even continue. I'll tell you what.
Honestly, you should, if you're a baseball player right now, you should be fucking up your feet with a hammer. Like Aaron Judge got fucking his toes broken, 3 bombs the other day, and then a home run today. It was the 3-homer game was yesterday, then a home run today, so 4 home runs in 24 hours. You got Justin Turner at Yankee Stadium launching homers, driving in game-winning runs. He's got 1 foot. Adam Duvall breaks his foot in the batter's box and then hits a 3-run bomb in extra innings. You ain't cool unless you break your feet. Like you gotta go out there and do damage to your own feet and
drive over it. Run it over.
Yeah.
Run it over like
How
Bullet.
bad do you want it? Yeah, fuck Bullet too. This is the EEI call.
Here's the 2-2 pitch, and it is swung on and crushed. It is back. It is gone.
Yeah, it is.
Oh. Adam Duvall, a 3-run homer in extra innings. His 3rd of the series, and it's 7-4 Red Sox.
And he hobbles out of the box. You got a little limp going on around the bases. I'm sure that ankle feels a lot better now. Graveman, after coming in and getting that foul ball off of his back foot, tries to come back in again with the sinkers. He slams down the Rosenbach behind the mound. And boy, I tell you, this time here, Duvall, he gets that barrel out. He stays through it. He takes this sinker and drives it to left field.
Yeah, he does, Lou. Loomer. That boy, Loomer. Sox take this one. Adam Duvall homering for his 3rd straight game.
I will say, I think the turning point in that game where it felt like the momentum
Garrett
shifted in the
Whitlock
series,
catch.
it was the Whitlock catch where he goes
Was that
in the 7th inning.
Yeah.
But I'll give even credit before that. Whitlock comes in the 6th, immediately, guy gets on. That double play he turned with Trevor Story, you talk about a guy fucking uncorking it. Pablo Reyes was at second base waiting for that throw. Story stepped in front of him. It was just like, get the fuck out of my way. It just unloaded. Like you saw Trevor Story's arm cook. And Alice Cora told you, hey, his arm, it's playing. There's no doubt about that.
Yep.
But yeah, the Whitlock play where I know it didn't end up actually counting, But holy shit, that was one of the most electric defensive plays I've ever seen a pitcher make.
It was unbelievable. I mean, I thought for sure that he was not going to have a chance to make that play. And I know that like it was almost it brought me back to a mental state of being a Patriots fan with Tom Brady, where he would like run the ball and then he would slide. He'd be like, ooh, like, don't touch him. And it was kind of like that with Whitlock, where I was like, please just don't fucking hurt yourself, like trying to catch this ball. But he did.
Covered in dirt, like from head to toe.
Oh, yeah. It was awesome. And the Instagram post with Houck, like they're pretty tight. So saying like, I don't want to hear anyone ever say again that Tanner Houck is more athletic than me, with the picture of him sliding. This is, hey, we're going to be here for a little while. We're going to be here for a little while going over this 17-1 ass pounding at the hands of the Boston Red Sox, the Houston Astros. Verdugo got things started with a bomb.
As Doogie gets in, hitting 274 with 9 home runs. There's a drive. That one hit wickedly right field, and it is gone. What a way to open up the day. Doogie with a blast, and the Red Sox are on top 1-0.
All right, Doogie.
Even with the ejection, arguably the sneaky best series out of like, you know, we know the guys that we're going to talk about having the best, that were the biggest names. Verdugo very sneakily had an amazing series with an ejection
game. I mean, let's see. This series started on Monday?
Yes.
21st to the 24th. Okay.
Like we're all thinking Duvall, Abreu, Verdugo deserves just as much love in that conversation.
Does he deserve more love than Adam Duvall? I feel like that's a crazy take.
No, but
even though
I think he's
like they're like Adam Duvall didn't just hit home runs in 3 straight games, like he hit like clutch bombs.
Oh yeah, like game changer bombs.
Yeah, Alex
some days
in this series hit 474 with a 12-11 OPS. Adam Duvall hit 563 with a 1924 OPS.
God mode.
Yeah. And by the way, people were asking if we were going to do catch-up. And I like the voters asked, and I didn't say who. But we had 3 voters reach out and say, do we do catch-up for a split? And I said, no, we don't. However, pretty big series. Pretty big series against Houston. And they won the last 2, which I think is very important. I asked Jake, I was like, what do you think? That we both kind of agreed it sets a bad precedent. Consulted Tyler about it. I put it to a vote on Twitter. What was the final result? I think
you're going to be a little shocked when you see it.
Well, people voted for ketchup. I know that, but I don't know about how much.
Very close, like nail biter close.
53%. I said, I've had 3 voters reach out and ask if we drizzle for a split. The answer is we don't. But A, it's a big series against Houston. And B, they'd be taking the last 2. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't want to set a bad precedent. I put the voting options were ketchup or no ketchup. And we got about 4,000 votes. And 53% voted in favor of ketchup. But I think this is kind of like the Hall of Fame, where if you're going to change a rule, it's got to be like 70% of the vote.
I think that's fair. I think it's just such a weird situation because, like you said, this series, splitting it really does feel like a win based on how we felt 48 hours ago. Like, it feels like you can breathe. You're not drowning. Like, it felt like the world was crumbling on you. Everyone was ready to dance and say, oh, look at the Red Sox. They're going to fall out of it before September. You're alive. You took a couple bullets to the fucking body, the torso, the head, and you're still standing somehow. But you've done that 3 or 4 times now this year. So what can people really say?
Anyways, yeah. So I don't think. Put it this way, right? Here's a good compromise for the people. Here's a compromise. No catch-up, because that's the rule. You've got to win the series. They did not win the series. It was a split, and it was a great split at that. But that doesn't mean that we can't hand out some packets. And boy, do I have some packets to hand out later. Willie Abreu hit his first big league home run.
Wilyer Abreu will be next. He's looked very comfortable. Got his first couple of major league hits out of the way. Swinging a drive. This one deep right field. Watch this baby go. Gone into the second deck. His first big league home run, and it was a blast and a half.
Yeah, it was. I mean, honestly, like, so when I went down to spring training and we did the painting thing with Kike, I was asking him about like some of the guys that are down there, and he brought up Abreu. He was like, love his swing. Dude has crazy power. Heim, I think last year when he made the trade, was talking about Wilyer Abreu and the crazy power that he has. Motherfucker had 4 hits today. First big league bomb. You have Duran goes on the injured list, and he makes his debut because Alex Verdugo got ejected. Then he gets his first big league knock, and then he gets his second big league knock in the same game. How does he follow that up? How about 4 fucking hits, including his first big league homer that goes into the second deck? So,
while playing center field today, by the way.
Right. Put me in the Wilyer Abreu fan club, like right at the front. I want a front row seat to that fan club.
He's a rare guy. Like this kind of profile in today's like kind of game, you get a lot of guys that don't have the athleticism to do what he does in the outfield, where, you know, he can give you plus defense in the corners, but to be able to shade you in center field, keep in mind, this is a team that wouldn't let Verdugo touch center field anymore. They trusted him enough to go out there today. So you're getting that. He was one of 5 players last year in minor league baseball with over 100 walks. Never going to hit for a super high average, but I don't know. There's a lot of like Jay Bruce vibes to me. Like a young Bruce. He like hits. He's going to hit bombs. Like we're going to watch. Wilyer Abreu could run into 30 home runs in the big leagues. Play a good right field and draw some walks. Get on base at a good clip and just be that kind of consistent, really solid right fielder. Now, you know, everything has to click that way, and I don't know if it's going to be here in Boston, but it did say something that they took him over Ceddanne Rafaela at the moment. And we saw today an article came out on Ceddanne Rafaela. They still feel like he has more stuff he needs to work on offensively at AAA before they want to call him up here. But dude is having like one of the most ridiculous Augusts ever. Like just including what happened today as well. Like when this dude got called up, he had like a 1,400 OPS in the month of August with 9 home runs already. Like he was just tearing it up. 22 homers in like 84 games at AAA. And, you know, people want to be like, oh, well, it's Polar Park. Does that look like you're fucking hitting homers because of the wind at Polar Park today in Houston? That shit's in the second deck. And I think that's why, and Keith Law was one of the people that said it at the time of the trade. I'll give him his credit. I know a lot of people like Emmanuel Valdez. He can hit. Obviously, the defensive home is a real question. And he had some offensive struggles we saw that led to him going back down. But still played an important role on this team for a stretch in the season. He liked Abreu even more because of that whole package. It's just a really well-rounded ball player. He doesn't look uncomfortable at the plate. It's not like I'm swinging out of my shoes or anything like that. And it was cool to see him and Cora spending time in the dugout where Cora's just kind of teaching him the game today. Like Cora seems to have a really nice, like, this kid, I like him. I could see him being a part of things, or at least a valuable chip to someone.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's the EEI call of Wilyer Abreu's first big league home run.
1-1. He drives one high and deep into right field. Adios! Wilyer Abreu launches his first major league home run, and it is 3-0 Red Sox.
Yeah. I can't believe you didn't go with a call before the game. You had Abreu hitting a bomb all day long today with that swing we have seen the last couple of days. He could swing it, boy, and I tell you can see where he can dominate the zone because it's a soft leg kick approach. He sees the ball well, but when the decision to swing the bat, there's a lot of thunder there. It is a big, long follow-through, beautiful left-handed stroke. He got all that second deck for Abreu.
Yeah, he sees it. Loomer sees it.
Were you listening to the
what?
Were you listening to the game on the radio when this happened earlier?
No.
Lou talked for about 5 minutes about how much he loves the way Wilyer just carries himself offensively and at the plate. He was like, this guy, it's not something you see in young guys. He's like, he just looks like being in the major leagues, like facing this level of pitching, it's not an adjustment for him. Like, it's just a super professional at bat for a guy who just showed up here.
Yeah.
And to do it against the team that traded you a year ago, right. An organization that traded you, that signed you.
Right.
And now you're playing for the Red Sox, who were your childhood team, who you thought you were going to sign with before, the whole international signing period. Penalties came in for the Red Sox during that stretch in 2016, 2017. Mm-hmm. What a fucking story. And he's going to have his kid in like the next week. His first kid.
Have a week, Willie Abreu. Have a damn week. So this is all happening in the top of the second. So you have the Willie Abreu home run in the second deck. Rafael Devers makes it 5-0 on a knock. Then in the third, Luis Arias doubles 6-0. Verdugo knock 7-0. Turner gets hit by a pitch with the bases loaded 8-0. Duvall walks 9-0. Yoshida knock 10-0. Then just like a ground out 11-0. Then you've got Bregman. By the way, this is when I was listening on the radio. Alex Bregman had a RBI knock. By the way, I struck him out. Alex Bregman had an RBI knock to make it 11-1. And I think Will was like, did they have like a giveaway where if like Alex Bregman drives on a run in the 5th inning, then everyone gets like a free taco or something? Because everyone was like, they were cheering really loud for an 11-1 ball game. Like you would have thought that it was 11-1 Astros. Then Willie Abreu knocks in another one. This is in the 8th inning. Devers RBI knock 13-1. Then you got in the top of the 9th, Pablo Reyes sack fly 14-1. Willie Abreu double 15-1, and then Connor Wong with the 2-run Wong Dong making it 17.
Connor Wong also trying to do what Abreu just did, come up with a 4-hit game. It's nice to have one like this. That's jacked deep to right field. Tucker's back of the wall, trying to make a catch. They went slamming into the fence, and that ball is out of here. And that's going to be a home run for Connor Wong as he'll touch them all. Red Sox laughing all the way back to Boston, leading it 17-1.
17-1. I don't care if it was off a position player. Dustin Pedroia said, "Oh, what are you going to do? If he fucking throws that shit up there, you're going to waffle it." That's what
he did.
Yeah.
That ball was high. It was like slow pitch softball, the one Wong took out on top of it. Just get up there and do it. It looked like he didn't even want to do it. But fuck it. Pad those stats. Please.
I mean, Connor Wong, by the way, a lot of people are now, we'll get to it. The fucking Mookie Betts stuff. But Connor Wong is turning in quite a nice season for the Red Sox. Didn't get enough for Mookie Betts people. Not saying that Connor Wong alone, shut the fuck up. I'm not saying Connor Wong alone was enough to be like, all right, look at what they did with Mookie Betts. But he's been your everyday catcher. You got an everyday catcher out of it. You got Alex Verdugo out of it. Could they have gotten more? Yeah, they could have. But it wasn't a complete bust. Connor Wong, Alex Verdugo, 2 big pieces of what you got going on right now. So because it was a split, we can't do catch up. But I did say that there would be packets.
Drizzle me.
I can't go full drizzle.
I'll be honest with you. I know what the best ketchup packets, where they come from.
Where?
I ate Papagenos today. Hand up.
Yeah.
I don't mind admitting that. Not something I do every day.
Yeah. But
the little ketchup packets they put in with the French fries, I don't know what the fuck they do to them. Maybe it's the temperature of the ketchup. It just matches the fries. Mm-hmm. That is the best packet ketchup you'll ever, put on your tongue.
You know what? I disagree with you, respectfully, of course. I know where the best ketchup packets come from.
Where?
The broadcast booth in Houston.
The stars at night are big and bright. Oh, fuck off, Texas. Feels a little weird to be drizzling even packets after a 4-game series split. But guess what, fellas? This one is a series win, given the way the first 2 games went. Sox kick the ball all over the place, and they answer in an enormous way to split this series, particularly in a ballpark that's given them so much pain with their dopey ball boys on the field, with the cheerleaders on the roof of the dugout, with fans who cheer like they won the World Series when they score a run to make it 11-1. There are so many packets to go around in this series. We'll start with Brian Bayo, who did everything the Red Sox needed him to do here today. I thought he was fantastic, saved the bullpen, sets you up for the Dodgers series. Alex Verdugo was fantastic. Our new boy, Wheelier Abreu, who was just unbelievable, looks the part. Not just swinging the bat, defensively, he looks totally comfortable. Alex Cora gets a packet. By the way, you fuck right off too, Justin Verlander. I loved Alex standing up for Justin Turner and the boys. But the Texas-sized packet, of course, to a man who appreciates curse words less than anyone on the entire Red Sox roster, goes to Adam motherfucking Duvall.
Yeah! Let's go!
Bro, it gets better every time.
Every fucking time!
Suck on it.
He is unbelievable, is Will Fleming. Yeah, I'm going to let him know. I was going to say that was incredible. They get better every time.
Do you think he does multiple takes, or is it just one shot?
Nah, he's a one-shot guy, for sure.
Jake, you saw him film one, right?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, but after seeing it in person, it's one shot every time. No,
Wow.
yeah.
What a dog.
Yeah. I thought we were going to get Loomer on that one, too. But Loomer's like, no. I'm only a Drizzlet guy. I don't do packets.
I do have a little stuff on Brian Bayo.
Please.
I do want to hit on
share.
today.
Yeah.
Red Sox stats kind of sent me down the hole. Blocked my burner account, man.
Wait, what?
Credit to them. My burner account. So people probably know it because I post the videos.
Wait, stats blocked your burner?
My burner account.
Why?
The hatred is crazy, listen, Red Sox stats. I know a lot of people are very angry with them recently. I feel like I see all over Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, because of the blocking stuff.
Wait, is Tyler Milliken blocked by stats?
Oh, yeah, I've been blocked before I even started on this podcast. I got blocked in 2021.
Oh man, that's one of the crazier things. I don't understand it. I'm not even
the least toxic person on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't know. Something's going on there. I don't know. I would love to. I mean, again,
it's cool.
I don't know what the deal is with stats. I don't even think stats likes me, to be honest.
It's cool. It's whatever. We see the certain people they love to talk to in this community.
Yeah.
That's it. But to block my burner account that legit just uploads videos, fucking spare me. But
that is
he pointed out, and it was a great kind of
you and your burner.
Like, there's just videos on there, bro. Like not me posting them. Whoever is posting them,
right.
Maybe it's me.
Mm-hmm.
But holy shit, like, let's reel it in. But he said today he was kind of talking about Brian Bayo's slider, and we mentioned it a couple episodes ago where it just had to be better. He needs another pitch he can kind of work off of. It's now kind of shaped more like a sweeper, and if you looked at the pitch data today, it backed it. So the vertical break was down 8 inches. He had averaged 44 on the season, was down to 36 in this one. The horizontal break increased by 4 inches after having a yearly average of 2. So it was up to 6. So you can kind of see the changing of the shape today, and it played well. He had some traffic on the bases, but as we watch Brian Bayo kind of develop into the pitcher he needs to be and get that breaking ball to a point where he can lean on it a little bit more, it felt like this was a step in the right direction. He's also throwing it harder. It was up 1.3 miles per hour today. And, the other stuff wasn't all considerably up or anything like that either. So that kind of paints the picture of, all right, maybe you add a little bit on this and it can kind of fool hitters and offer them a different look. Nick Pivetta has played a major part in this season with the added sweeper. So I wonder if that's kind of, I guess you could call it a Dave Bush specialty right now, where if they're trying to add a breaking ball or just something else to your repertoire, this is the way to do it. So yeah, I was excited about that. And they also mentioned it on the radio broadcast. The Red Sox changed Brian Bayo's day routine. So as we know, when he's pitched day games, it just hasn't gone well this year. The sun's fucked him up. Now, the dome was over his head. I saw everyone fucking tweeting that to me today. I don't give a fuck about the sun touching him. It's about the routine and him getting up and knowing how to handle his body for an afternoon game. Well, the Red Sox adjusted it today, had him try something a little different, and he got positive results out of it. So I'm assuming they're going to continue to try whatever this new method is as much as they can because it worked.
That is kind of funny. Like he's a vampire.
It's wild, bro. But hey, be you. Be cold-blooded. I'm fine with that. We just got to figure out a system that works for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's it was obvious. It was glaring. Like you had to fix what was going on with Bayo with the day-night splits being what they were. And lo and behold, it looks like the Red Sox maybe found a little something. There's nothing wrong with that. But you know what?
What?
I think I might change the rule.
What rule? Oh, fuck.
Every time. Fuck.
Oh, no. I have them right here in front.
Yep. Take your time.
I don't even need to pull them up. I'm just finding my flow right now. Finding my bars. Oh, shit. That's not helping. That just makes me sad. But because I'm speedy and quick and I can move with this crazy agility, I have it right in front of me. Okay. Sale battled for 5. Whitlock don't mind getting dirty. Duvall said, don't worry. Willier has arrived. Bayo beat the Sun in 1. Series split, Sox hit. A series of haikus by Tyler Milliken. All right, before anyone says it, before everyone wants to look down on me and take away my writing privileges, I don't know what happened on Wednesday night. I wasn't drunk. I saw some people saying that. I wasn't intoxicated. My ability to work with syllables failed me, unfortunately. But I turned myself in. I didn't know it when I posted it. I thought I was cooking. I thought it was
cooking.
bars.
Yeah.
I thought I was fucking mixing it, mashing it, baking it, whatever you want to call it. But dog, I messed up 2 lines. And for someone who usually doesn't mess up any lines, I think before that, every haiku had been perfectly formatted. Mm-hmm. It was a tough pill for me to swallow.
But you did swallow it.
Oh, the whole load. But the more important thing is, I thought I made a pretty good point. The Red Sox played extra innings, so I got extra syllables. True or false? Fuck you, dude.
Just saying.
I deserve some kind of point for just being honest about it and having the accountability to step up and say, listen, I've had better days.
Citrus Hills. Fuck this.
586. Embarrassing. Do better, Tyler. And then people start submitting their haikus that are like clearly better than the one I wrote. Like, come on.
That's big of you.
This might just be the worst thing I've ever read. Get it together. This one was nice. Not a haiku, but still very good, T-Dog.
T-Dog.
That's some bi-curiously written haiku.
Is it that time?
It's that time.
Oh, shit. The call of the series brought to you by the Nextel i90. Head on down to what? Fucking Radio Shack?
Yeah. Radio Shack, please.
Get yourself a Nextel flip phone.
Circuit City.
Circuit City's got them too. Yeah. Get them before they sell out because there's not a ton left. Call of the series brought to you by Nextel. It is, of course, Kevin Millar calling Adam Duvall's home run on the
So we'll send up Adam Duvall. He's in center field tonight. 242, 11 home runs with 2 out, 2 on. Sox trying to get on the board quickly.
He's going deep. This is not a good matchup for Javier. I'm telling you, Duvall, this is that last 6 weeks where he gets going and gets homer hot, but I'm going to call you right now. Early in the game, I know with 2 outs, we're not used to doing this. We're doing it right now. Duvall's going deep.
All right, you're a brave man, but it is cozy out there to left in those Crawford boxes. And I know you're eyeing those right now.
It makes you want to go get a bat, Obi, I'm telling you. What?
Swing at a high fly ball deep left field. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh, my. Kevin Millar, stick around. Red Sox lead it 3-0. And Millar called it seconds before it happened.
I'm telling you, OB, that's just not a great matchup. We got a big pull, right-handed power, Adam Duvall.
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me? I know it felt weird. It was the first inning with 2 outs. But I had to go out there and do it. It just felt right at that time. Duvall getting a fastball, middle cut, didn't miss it, had the fastball up, breaking ball strike, 1-1 count. Has the weights. We got high fives going everywhere. Sox up 3-0. We can see here the fastball. They're trying to go, maybe not there. That is middle, a little bit up, and Duvall does not miss it and sent it up there, by the way, on the choo-choo train. I didn't realize that. I would have called that, too. That would have been extra credit.
Oh, God. Kevin Millar, Uncle Kevin, with the call of the series, brought to you by Nextel. That was that was incredible. Even I wish I had a camera for my live reaction. I was probably like, what?
What was like the most genuine, like, holy shit, I can't believe I just did that.
Yeah.
And I was happy for Millar because I do feel like he gets a lot of flack, this year and last year in the Nesson booth. So for him to have kind of the signature moment, there's not a moment that's going to top that in the booth this season.
No.
Just the chances of hitting and calling it and it all happening like it did, that was electric. And it felt like at the time, like, holy fuck, are the Red Sox about to go into Houston and just beat the fuck out of them for 4 games?
Yeah.
And then they got their dick kicked in, the next 48 hours.
Yeah. I thought for sure when that happened, not just the fact that Duvall started with a 3-run bomb, but like the good vibes of Millar calling his shot, and then you got the 3-run home run. Not just that he called it and it was a home run, but the fact that it was up on the fucking train tracks. It just felt like, oh man, the Red Sox are about to like really set the tone here in Houston. And like, I think we picked 3 out of 4, right?
You picked 3 out of 4. I split.
Okay. I went 3 out of 4. I felt good going in. I was like, all right, yeah, I understand the Yankees are not good. So you don't want to take too much out of that series, but I believe in a little thing called momentum, and I thought they were going to be able to ride that into Houston. Didn't happen that way, but I'm happy with the split, the way that it played out.
I do want to address one thing on that too. A lot of people got annoyed with us calling that like a high point or the highest point of the season.
What, the sweep?
It's not. Yeah, the sweep of the Yankees. I don't think people realize like how it was framed. It's not saying the Yankees like beating them was some fucking monumental thing. Like the Yankees are the best team in baseball. No, clearly they're getting the shit kicked out of them. They had lost 8 in a row after the Red Sox were done with them, right? It was more just you would put together a 3-game series where everything clicked together. You were kind of making some ground back up in terms of where you were after going through that Blue Jays series. You would put together this string, making it up after the National Series, and then people were like, oh, well, you pop bottles. They didn't pop bottles because they beat the fucking Yankees. They sprayed some beer for Ramon Vasquez. That's what they did because he got his first managerial win. So, like, context is important. It was a big win. It was important for them because they just felt like, oh, this is like where we kind of change the gear and we get hot and we let it run. But holy shit, people were, trying to act like Red Sox fans were taking a lap for beating on the Yankees. No, it was more just the Red Sox showing up and taking care of business when they needed to. And that's not something we've seen. It felt like when these series came up, they'd always disappoint or not get it done, especially after you went and did it on a day where Junior Valentine had the 3 biggest blown calls of the day against you, and you still found a way to win.
Yeah. Yep. Jake, what were your thoughts from the Houston series?
I mean, in hindsight, I feel like I just should have bet everything I had on them winning the last 2 games of that series because, again, like losing those first 2, it felt kind of how it felt after the Blue Jay series. It's like technically the season's not over, but kind of felt like that. But those 2 coming back and just with this roller coaster of a season is classic 2023 Red Sox.
Classic. It was a microcosm of the whole season. They can look so good and so bad, and it all goes back to what Alex Cora said. I mean, just wait a second. Like, oh, you think we suck? Just wait a week. See what you think then.
As much as you can say, and it's fair, it's right. I won't disagree with you. You can say, well, this team can't consistently do it enough, to be in the playoffs or be considered one of the better teams in baseball. That's more than fair. But to that same point, you can't say, or you have to admit, this team, if they were going to fold, if they were going to fall through the floor, it would have happened by now. Like if they were going to be this team that just fell into oblivion like the 2022 Red Sox did after holding on for, 3.5 months, almost 4 months, it would have happened. This team, every time they hit that wall, they pull themselves up. That speaks to Alex Cora and the job he's doing, but it also speaks to the roster and them being able to come through and survive the injuries when they happen. You lose Duran, Wilyer Abreu shows up and has a friggin' ridiculous series. Like that's kind of been what it's been for the 2023 Red Sox. Every time it feels like you lose someone and you can't get by, a new name steps up and finds a way to fill the hole for some time. And it doesn't always last forever, as we know, But how many times have we looked at a guy this year and said, holy shit, like, thank God he showed up for this series, or thank God he stepped up, because if he didn't, who knows how they would have got by.
Yeah.
Jarren Duran was that guy at one point. Emmanuel Valdez was that guy at one point. You know, all the different relievers that came in and out of the Red Sox bullpen over the last couple months. Credit where credit's due. That kind of depth is not easy, and they didn't have it enough last year to survive. They've survived those injuries this year.
Yeah.
And I am a little worried about Duran. I don't know. It just felt like it got serious kind of quickly.
What do you mean?
In terms
with the toe?
Like it went from like, oh, you know, he's fine, we're not bringing anyone, to, all right, we're going to put him on the IL, to now he's in a walking boot. And I just wonder how that plays out. I hope we see him again this year. Like, I hope it's just the minimum days or whatever, but he's going to see a specialist when they get back to Boston. See, I just don't like those kind of injuries for a guy whose really ability and his entire value comes through his feet and his legs. Mm-hmm. Like, if he can't run and do what he needs to do, that's a really big problem, obviously.
Yeah, he's probably going nuts right now, not being able to work out. He's going nuts.
Tough, and I feel bad for him because it felt like his bat was starting to come around and the shit he's been dealing with. I'd like, him to finish the season on a strong note. I think it'd go a long way towards next year.
I'm gonna check in on him, because I know for me, when I can't work out, that's when I lose my fucking mind. So if he was already kind of going through it and he can't work out, then he's gonna have to find something else that gives him that feeling of, I guess, feeling good. So
I would just do buys.
He could.
Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah, he could do like
buys and tries,
seated incline press or something like that. Yeah, he could.
So for people who are listening, Jared had like a hoodie on before this podcast started, and he legit took his hoodie off so that he could flex on everyone like this. He's been working hard. He's beating the fat allegations.
I've been called fat recently, but I feel like I was just bloated.
Me too.
I stopped doing coffee, or I stopped getting like coffee with milk in it. And now I feel better. So,
are you lactose intolerant?
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like if you're lactose intolerant, you puke if you drink milk. I don't puke.
Or you shit water.
Yeah, I don't do that either. I just like get bloated. I look like I'm pregnant.
Not going to judge you.
Well, not anymore, Tyler.
I have one other thing I do want to add.
Yeah, do you?
I do. Can I?
What is it about?
That third game, that Trevor Story play in the eighth inning, of him going all the way to his right, and saving Chris Martin in that spot. That was a ridiculous throw, across the body, basically at third base, and just letting it fly on the dot to Casas. By the way, you want to talk about Trevor Story's defensive impact? So what? He's been back. He's played 80 innings at shortstop this year. He already has 4 defensive runs saved, and he's 2 outs above average.
Trevor,
that's not getting by at shortstop. That's a well above average. That's old Trevor Story at shortstop.
Was it Catillo that had the tweet where he was like I think we kind of like drastically underestimated just how impactful Trevor Story is at shortstop? It's true. It's a bar. It's a fact.
He was, imagine him there and Kike in center at the start of the year.
It would have been nice.
That would have been some ridiculous defense up the middle.
Would have been nice. You know what else would have been ridiculous?
What?
If I go this entire weekend without drinking a Blue Moon, which that's just not going to
crazy.
Yeah, it's not happening. Jake, if you could be so kind as to telling the good folks at home that are watching, that are listening, about the delicious Blue Moon.
Playoffs are just around the corner, so it's time to help your team out by sticking to your lucky rituals, like the ritual of enjoying an ice-cold Blue Moon while the game is on. Blue Moon was born in a ballpark, first brewed at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. Make it your one-of-a-kind baseball tradition whether you're at the park or watching from home. Tyler obviously had plenty of Blue Moons during the game on Wednesday, because what the fuck was that haiku? I mean, what kind of an idiot writes a 586 haiku? Last time I wrote a 586, I was in 3rd grade, and I was embarrassed even back then. Clean it up, bro. With its refreshing flavor with Valencia orange peel for a subtle sweetness and hits of coriander, Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale is a one-of-a-kind beer that's made brighter. It's carefully crafted and full-flavored with refreshing notes and a smooth, creamy finish. Blue Moon was brewed by baseball to give you a dose of nostalgia and get you excited for the new season. Why strike out with the same old beer when you can get something one of a kind? Its bold flavor, bright color, and iconic orange slice ritual guarantee a one-of-a-kind beer experience perfect for spring weather. Best served with its signature orange garnish to showcase its beautiful bright color, a beer this good only comes around once in a blue moon, but you can enjoy it all season long. Brighten up your baseball traditions with Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale. It's one of a kind every time. Check out shop.bluemoonbrewingcompany.com for baseball merch and visit get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared to find Blue Moon delivery options. That's get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared. Blue Moon, made brighter. Celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado Ale.
Thank you, Jake. Appreciate that. What else we got left? Just Stop and Shop?
No.
What?
I think it starts with a tweet you put out this morning.
I put out a tweet this morning?
You did. In a tweet that I agree with. Now, I also added fuel to the fire because I was tweeting out stuff involving this subject of Mookie Betts today in the comments. But I thought your tweet is how I feel. It's how everyone feels. And being in sports radio, we did Mookie Talk today, and I was like, please fucking kill me. I cannot listen to this anymore.
Yeah. So here's the tweet. I'm already sick of the Mookie Betts stuff, and the weekend hasn't even started yet. I love Mookie. I appreciated and very much enjoyed what he did here, but he ain't here anymore, and he ain't coming back. It's been 4 years. Time for everyone to just move on. And that's how I feel about it. Like, Mookie did the interview with Brock where he was talking about like, oh man, like if they had just offered you this, would you have stayed? And he was like, fuck yeah, I would have stayed. And now he's like, 1 second he's saying, yeah, no, I rejected the $300 million offer that the Red Sox made. And now today he's like, they didn't even make me a $300 million offer. Bro, I don't care. I don't care anymore. I stopped caring when Mookie Betts won a World Series with the Dodgers. That's when it became real that he was gone. That's when it became real that he wasn't coming back. Of course, when you have the trade, it's like, all right, it should be real then. All right, yeah. Then when he signs the extension, it should become even more real. Fine. But then to see him celebrating a championship with the Dodgers, like I had that moment of like, fuck, man, like he's a Dodger. Like if he had gone, like Xander does not feel like a Padre to me. He doesn't. He feels more like a Red Sox still because he's just like, Padres fans hate him. Not because, I mean, he's an amazing person, but he hasn't performed well, and the fans are angry because they had such a monster offseason and they have nothing to show for it. So Xander, to me, still feels like a Red Sox, does not feel like a Padre. But the second you see Mookie Betts holding up the World Series trophy in a Dodger uniform, it's like, all right, he's not ours anymore. He's gone. He's a Dodger. That's it. That's a wrap. That's when I stopped caring about all that shit. And I saw like a couple. I mean, this tweet got over 100 replies, and I read a few of them. I didn't read all of them, but some of them were like, "What do you mean? Like we need to move on? Like it's still like the effects of the trade are still ongoing. So how can we just move on?" And to that, I say, all right, yeah. You know, when you still talk about like we just did it earlier in the show. Alex Verdugo and Connor Wong are on your team right now, and they're contributing, and they were the return for Mookie Betts with Jeter Downs, who's with the Nationals, I believe. But in that sense, yeah, like you're going to reflect back on it, and you can say, like, if Connor Wong starts going off and he hits, 300 with an 850 OPS, you're going to be like, fuck, man, like that's awesome. Like if Verdugo made the All-Star team this year, you'd be like, yeah, like, maybe that return wasn't so bad by Chaim Bloom for Mookie Betts. Like you're going to refer to it a lot. Does that mean that you haven't moved on? No, because the subject is still relevant as long as those guys are still here. The fact that Mookie Betts is coming back to Boston for the first time since the trade, that makes it relevant again. I'm saying move on from like, stop talking about the contract. You signed the extension with the Dodgers. I don't care what the Red Sox offer was to you anymore. I don't care if you would have considered a contract comparable to the one that you got with LA. I don't care because you did get traded and you did sign the contract with the Dodgers. I'm not blaming you for that. you did what was best for you and your family. And if you love LA, then God bless you. I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you're happy. Stop talking about it, because all it does is just rile up Red Sox fans. And Heim right now is in a position where he's got the 5th best farm system in baseball. He's on the precipice of what should be his most eventful offseason ever as Red Sox chief baseball officer. And every time that Mookie Betts opens his mouth about like, I should have signed this, or I would have done this, and I would have done this differently. Like, you didn't, and that's okay. But when you talk about it and you use all this revisionist history, all that does is rile up Red Sox fans to be like, oh, fuck the Red Sox and John Henry and blah, 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 blah. Like, it's just unnecessary. Like, I feel like maybe fans don't feel the same way right now. But after the recent prospect rankings of the Red Sox having the 5th best farm system in baseball, it's hard to say that they're not on an upward trend. After seeing Wilyer Abreu do what he did in that Houston series after getting called up, and how butthurt everyone was about trading Christian Vasquez last year and getting 2 prospects back, it's like, well, how does that help us right now? It doesn't. We're building for the future, and the future is now, and the future will continue to be now, because the whole point is to build sustained success. It's not just, hey, we're trading guys to load up for 2024. It's like, no, we're drafting, we're developing, we're trading, and we're building this farm system so that every year there's just waves. There's waves of talent coming up. There's waves of prospects that are going to be making an impact at the big league roster, at the big league level. So I don't know, like, all that to say, I'm not going to tell fans how to fan. If you're still upset about Mookie Betts, you're still upset about Mookie Betts. I'm not going to tell you can't be upset. But at the end of the day, the whole move on part is like, why are we still asking Mookie Betts about what the offers were or what he would have signed for to stay here? It's all just like hypothetical hindsight that is unnecessary. And it's just, all it does is rile up the fan base for no reason. Like, I'm not saying that we're fine, but we're in a much better position now than we were in 2019 when that trade happened.
And I think a lot of people are like, well, we talked about Babe Ruth for all these years. Dude, the Red Sox were cursed. Like, they didn't win anything for all those years. So that stuff adds more and more and more flame to it. It's like, say what you will, it's been an up and down couple years. The Red Sox were in the ALCS, a year or technically 2 years. You trade Mookie in 2020 before the season starts. In 2021, you go to the ALCS. You're a couple games away from making the World Series. And it's been up and down, but, last year, down year, this year, meh year. You accepted a bridge year. But I think it's the consistent thing with Mookie, and we've seen this. He really is unsure of how Boston fans feel about him. And it surprises me because, like, all you have to do is fucking type in Red Sox, like, on Twitter for the last 3 years, and you'd see, dude, people miss you. People love you. People have never forgiven the Red Sox for trading you. Some people say that was the last straw for my Red Sox fandom. I haven't cared about the Red Sox since they dealt Mookie Betts. I can't tell you how many times I've read that tweet. And, you're free to feel however you feel. Like, if that was the last straw, I don't know how you made it through other eras of the Red Sox, because it's not the first time. It won't be the last time something like that happens. Hopefully not to the level of Mookie, but we watch homegrown stars and these guys leave over time. It's just, all right, Mookie, we get it. Like, you say you never got that $300 million contract, right? Like, they never offered you that. Well, you go and you see that article that I put out on my Twitter today of him saying, yeah, I appreciated it. Like, all this stuff. Oh, even the day before I got traded, I assumed we were going to get a deal done. Mookie, there's receipts. Like, I hate to be that guy. Jason Mastrodonato, this is 2019 spring training. Ask Mookie Betts if he expects to begin the season without getting an extension done. That's exactly what I expect. Didn't expect anything to happen until I'm a free agent. That meant something. You go back to June Lee, someone who's very connected in the city. Mm-hmm. Buster Olney as well, both at ESPN. June Lee, Mookie Betts knows his importance to the MLBPA and what signing a big free agent contract means from labor standpoint for players. It's one of the main reasons he wants to become a free agent, per sources. Buster Olney, what did he say? This was on Merloni's show. He understands his importance to the union. And the union needs guys like him to get to free agency. We've seen guys like Garrett Cole and how much they've pulled the numbers up, and Mookie will have the ability to do that. Ken Rosenthal on February 4th, we're talking right after. Mookie, when you went to LA and you accepted that extension, right? Why didn't you agree to a deal in spring training that year? Why didn't you agree to a deal right when you got there? What was the difference? Because at that time you made the same claims. I'm going to play through this year and we'll see what happens. COVID goes nuts. And, during this time, Mookie gives that whole speech in spring training that, people are writing about. The Athletic had a piece today talking about the transformation of Mookie Betts when he left here, how he became this leader and the guy he is today, which is awesome. I'm so happy to see the guy Mookie's become off the field. You know what I mean? Like, he's maturing. He was young here. Like, that's kind of growing and becoming an adult in this world, right? You become a father. All this stuff happens. You signed that deal in July, like 5 or 6 days before the season started, when no one knew what the future of the sport was, where things were going. Everyone thought the COVID season was going to get shut down in the next couple weeks. Like, you agreed to that deal. You changed your stance on everything. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, no Red Sox fan is sitting there and saying, oh, fuck you, Mookie, for how that played out. No one knew what was going to happen, but you took a safer deal. We know, like, based off Lou's report, and people, you want to go say Lou's report was BS or whatever it was. Mookie answered a question on it years ago, and tell me why, when everyone has been using this report, whether it's radio, Boston Globe, everyone who's written, there was never a deny once of that. He could have said over all this time, that never happened. I never got that deal. Now it happens suddenly days before you're about to play in Boston for the first time. It just feels like he wants to tell people and be like, hey, love me. I hope you guys still love me. We love you. Like, that has never changed. And like, I remember Jim Rice the day after getting traded, that story. I talked to Mookie and Mookie said he wanted to be here, like all this different stuff. Come on, man. You wanted to hit free agency. You made that very clear. There was another report from Joel Sherman that I had in my notes. I was digging today. I was going through just because I wanted to remember all this stuff to make sure what it was. Yeah, this is coming over the 2019 into 2020 season, over that offseason. 2 other sources said the Red Sox have made several attempts at a long-term deal with Betts, including this past offseason with the Betts camp not making a counter proposal. The All-Star has instead been comfortable with the risk of going a year at a time in exchange for that reward that would come with patience. Like, that's how he handled it. And he deserved it. And that's what it is. Like, it's okay. Like, that was the way you chose to handle it. The Red Sox were in a position where they couldn't risk you going to free agency. And do I wish Mookie was here? Of fucking course I do. But decisions led you to the point where you were strapped. We all talk about the prospect return for Mookie. Do you forget David Price's contract was part of that? Do people forget that? And getting that money off the books? Do you forget when you were getting your first round pick kicked back to the second round and your farm system was 30th in baseball per Baseball America at that time and you needed help in the system? You needed a way to kind of reset your roster. Like, it wasn't perfect, and it sucks that you had to deal him, and you should have done better in that trade. There's no denying it. And Xander should be here because that move was made so these things could happen. Like, we all understand that. It's just like rewriting the history, and you continue to say like, oh, I don't know how fans are going to receive me. You kind of open the door to that insecurity that you're worried we don't love you or we don't accept you or we see you as a traitor. It's not that at all, dude. It's never been that. So, and I think he's going to get a great ovation when he comes in tomorrow. I think it's going to be an awesome moment for him. But like that's what it is. There's just receipts of all this stuff over time. Just don't act like it never existed. It meant a lot to you to go to free agency. You made that clear again and again and again. Circumstances changed. That's why you signed an extension, and that's what it is. It's not that more complicated. You can just accept, all right, like that is what it is. COVID happened. No one knew. You took a safe deal for your future that made a lot of sense instead of taking the risk of free agency when no one even knew if there'd be a baseball season or a society afterwards.
Jake, how do you feel about Mookie Betts coming back this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, who gives a fuck about the offers and shit? Like, that, it's happened 4 years ago. Like, so many things happened. He said, she said. I don't really care about that anymore. I'll always look at Mookie Betts when he's playing, and I'm sure it'll happen this weekend. He'll hit a home run or something. I'll be like, can't believe we don't fucking have that guy on our team. But like, I don't want to go back down the whole road of what happened and what all the offers were. Like, I'm just sick of talking about that.
Yeah, I'm just sick of it. Like, it's not that I'm sick of Mookie Betts, because that's the other thing too, is I will tweet Mookie Betts highlights all the time. And like the replies would be like, oh, I bet you wish you still had him. Like, yeah, of course I still wish I had Mookie Betts.
Who doesn't? He's one of the best players we've ever seen.
Yeah, or like he'll do something and people will be like, oh, I bet that it kills you to have to tweet that. I'm like, no, dude, like I've moved on. Like, I'm happy to celebrate Mookie Betts, the player who's a Dodger. Like if he hits a home run, like I'm not going to not tweet it because I wish that he was on the Red Sox. Like I've accepted that he's not. It is what it is. It's not going to make me stop sharing his highlights. Like I still love the player and I still root for him, but I knew that this was going to be a thing. Like when the schedule came out and it was like, fuck, the Dodgers are coming to Fenway. It's like, that's going to be like the Mookie clickbait, like it's Super Bowl. It's going to be hey, remember how bad the Red Sox fucked this up? It was never going to be anything other than that. So if he goes off this weekend, he goes off. I mean, he's having a great year. He's having one of the best years of his entire career this year. Like he's in the conversation for National League MVP.
He went 5 for 5 today, didn't he?
Yeah. So, I mean, if he drags his nuts across your forehead, then don't be surprised. There's a strong chance that he'll do that. But yeah, I think I said before that when he did that interview with Brock and he was talking about how like, if the Red Sox made me a similar offer than the Dodgers did, that I would have accepted it. Like I wanted to stay. And then like the interview in the Globe and he's like, we were looking at houses in Boston. Like we didn't want to leave. Like we were looking at houses to stay there. And we were having these conversations. He just doesn't want to get booed. At the end of the day, that's really all it is. Like I think
he's made that quite obvious in that interview talking to Kike being like, man, like, I don't know. Like you can hear it in his voice. Like, I've thought about it. I'm not sure. Like, I don't know what to respect or what to expect. And Kike's like, dude, they're going to love you, man. Like, you don't realize how much you mean to that fan base and what you meant to them. And like, it speaks to the humility that Mookie Betts has. And that's the kind of guy he is. He's never been the only dude to suck his own dick or anything like that. And to this point, I think he looks at it and he's like, do they hate me? Like, did they look? No, none of us hate you. The franchise was in a fucking awful spot. And like, you did it to win a World Series and you do what you do, flags fly forever. But bro, no one's looking at you and telling you to fuck off. I think you start to upset people when you kind of rewrite the script. I think that's when people are like, all right, like, you don't just have to say it, man. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we already fuck with you.
Yeah, I think, there was always like that awkward, just him maintaining, like, he didn't even like tease. You can have your agent say, like, have a conversation with your agent, be like, hey, we're going to free agency. Like, I don't give a fuck what they put on the table. But then publicly, you can be like, we're open to talk. We're always open to talk. I love Boston. Hey, the fucking Big Poppy Bridge. You know what I mean? Like, you can do that song and dance. He didn't. Publicly, he said, we're going to free agency. We're going.
The quote's right there. Yeah. Like, I just
you want to go to free agency. Like, I know what, like, I mean to the union. I gotta set the bar for all these other guys, all these other slapdicks that don't make the money that I make. So, which again, like, I'm saying this as someone that understands the business of baseball, and I respect Mookie Betts' decision to say all that the whole time. Like, hey, just letting you know, like, we're going to free agency. And I think it just rubbed people the wrong way that were paying close attention to all that, because not every fan is paying close attention to that. They're watching the games, they're checking the box scores. They're not seeing that Mookie Betts is like, we're going to free agency. Doesn't matter what contract you put in front of me. Like, we're going to free agency. And then he just didn't do that. He just signed a panic extension with the Dodgers because I think COVID was a factor. But at the end of the day, he still probably got very close to his number, if it wasn't the number that he was willing to sign for. So I have no ill will towards Mookie Betts. I again, like I said, love the guy, love the player, have so much respect and admiration for him and what he did here and what he continues to do for the Dodgers. But I just had this series circled because I'm like, it's not like a feel good moment. It like Mookie Betts' return isn't about saying, yay, thank you for 2018. Like, we'll never forget you. Like, thank you so much. And like, good luck with your new team. It's going to be, wow, we fucked this up. It's going to be, how the fuck is he on that team and not this team? That's what it's going to be. There's going to be nothing happy about it. Like, he's still going to get his standing ovation because, like you said, the fans still love him and they appreciate him for what he did here. But like, when Nomar came back, standing ovation. You're playing for the fucking A's. Like, your career is basically over at this point. Like, yay, Nomar.
The Sox
like,
won multiple times.
Yeah, they won
like,
2 rings by the time he came back. Like, it's all good. It's all good. Like, there's been so many. Johnny Damon. Oh man, you left us for the Yankees, but like, yay, thank you for 04. That championship meant so much. Like, it was in the Red Sox at that point, we're still like at least 2 years removed from a World Series title. So there's just been so many returns of guys that have meant so much to the Red Sox. But this is the first one where you're giving the standing ovation to acknowledge all the great things that this player did for this organization. But like, every other guy that you can think of that's gotten this standing ovation for returning is a guy where it's like, thank you for everything that you did here, but boy, are we glad that you're playing for someone else now. Like, we got the good years. They paid extra for all like the mediocre to back end years that are not worth what you're getting paid. Mookie Betts, still very much in his prime, still very much an MVP caliber player, still very much a face of the entire league, one of the faces of the entire league. So that's why you can have your feel good moment saying, thanks for 18. Thanks for the memories while you were here. And we're going to shower you with love during this first inning, first plate appearance. But after that, we're probably going to sit back down and have conversations amongst ourselves where the general thesis is, how did this happen? How did we get here? Because, I mean, Jay Hay made the point on Baseball is Dead today. How many franchises that have Boston's financial backing end up with their franchise player playing somewhere else during their prime? How many times has that happened? Like, can you think of one example? Like, on purpose? Where, like, I mean, you could say, there's been teams that have traded away a guy that became, like, let's just say like the Chicago White Sox had money and they traded Fernando Tatis Jr. for James Shields. And then Fernando Tatis Jr. becomes the face of the franchise in San Diego. They didn't know what they had in Tatis. The Red Sox knew exactly what they had in Mookie Betts. Like, everyone knew what they had in Mookie Betts. So it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. Teams with the Red Sox money don't let their franchise players play for other teams while they're in their prime. This is not something that happens. So,
and like you throw in, like, as you go through, like, a lot of these years, and I think people forget it and they look at it through the light of like, well, there were multiple off seasons. As we talk about, an extension could have got done. Like Mookie Betts, when he came up and, and played out all these years here, those were all opportunities to lock that long-term deal down or something like that. And they got to the point where they were at that final line and they had pushed well beyond the luxury tax multiple years in a row. No team had ever gone over the luxury tax for a third year in a row at that point during that CBA. No one did it on that CBA. So like, yeah, it was a tough move. And, when you trade a superstar like that, you're never going to get the equal parts back. That, like, you knew you were trading away a franchise star that was going to go and win an MVP or multiple MVP somewhere else. Like, that was the reality. But where the Dodgers were when they did make that move, right? They waited years for that major move. They were like, this is when we're going to push over the luxury tax. We have the farm system. We have all of it. The Red Sox looked at it and said, well, we have none of that in our eyes. The farm system's barren. We feel like this core of players is on the wrong side. They're trending down after what happened in 2019. Do we really have the foundation to support this all-time talent and push for years to come? The Red Sox didn't feel that way. And, like you said, you hope this year and what we've seen, the farm system being 5th in Baseball America's rankings, 4th on Fangraphs, and then the young, players on the team now, you hope you're getting to that point where, you can lift someone like Rafael Devers and even go chase another major name this offseason and add them to this core and say, insert piece here, whoever it is, go alongside Rafael Devers, go lead the top of this rotation, and now we can go pushing and try to be like the Dodgers, chasing a World Series every single year for the foreseeable future.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good question, though. I'm trying to think of big market teams that have had a player of that caliber leave them, end up going to another franchise.
I don't know that there's a long list of that.
No.
I don't know that that's something that is a common occurrence. So But anyways, that'll be something to look forward to this weekend, I guess. It's supposed to pour out tomorrow, like piss.
And it's on Apple TV. That's a tough assignment.
It's already raining right now, and then it's supposed to rain all day, all night tomorrow. Like no breaks from now until like through tomorrow. Like not gonna stop. So
if it rains all Friday, though, at least the game will be on Nesson, so most people can see the moment on TV. Because it's gonna suck if I want as many people to see that Mookie Betts moment as they can.
He deserves that.
Looked,
it's supposed to rain all weekend.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, it's supposed to rain Saturday, maybe not Sunday, but it could rain Sunday. Yeah, it's supposed to rain Saturday too. Oh boy. Well, it's perfect. It's perfect for what the mood is going to be.
You think it's going to be a bad weekend for the Red Sox?
No. I don't think it's going to be a bad weekend for the Red Sox, but like
what happens if Verdugo just like fucking this absolutely like erupts like fuck you. Everyone's talking about Mookie Betts like fuck y'all. I'm seeing the Dodgers for the first time and Connor Wong just like fucking legacy series.
That's the other side of the coin, right? Like Justin Turner, Kenley Jansen, Connor Wong.
JD's not making the trip and neither is Joe Kelly, right?
Correct. JD is not coming.
I'm sorry. When I obviously knew he was on the IL, but when I read he wasn't even obviously making the trip, I was like, damn, poor Jared.
I mean, I asked him the other day. When was it?
Is that strictly treatment or do you read into that at all?
What do you mean?
Obviously he's been dealing with this injury for some time throughout this month,
yeah.
On and off before he went on the IL.
Yeah.
But this isn't anything about him not wanting to come back, right?
No.
Okay.
JD? No. I think because, I mean, I don't know if there's any beef with him and anyone that's here. I mean, if it was with Kike, right? Kike was the one that was like doing interviews being like, yeah, like comparing Justin Turner and JD Martinez. And he was like, yeah, no, Justin Turner's way better. And then he gets traded back to the Dodgers and he's with JD again. Yeah, no, I asked him on
That's
Tuesday.
a sneaky one too.
What?
That's weird. He was here 3 weeks ago.
Kike?
Yeah, like we're going to be, hey, what's up, Kike? Like, nice to see you killing it,
yeah.
With the Dodgers. Oh, Ryan Brazier, how's that like 1.10 ERA doing?
Yeah, he's
you having fun?
Nasty. Yeah. Yeah, no. JD, I mean, if JD came back, he would get a big ovation, obviously. Dude just fucking handles his business. Came here. Like, the Red Sox don't win in 2018 without JD Martinez. Like, for as much as we love Mookie Betts, dude didn't do dick in the playoffs. Dick. JD was like, oh, playoff time? Whack, whack, whack. Like, he was a beast. He was just as consistent as they come. And he was the missing piece because once David Ortiz retired after 2016, that 2017 Red Sox team was like, yeah, first place team, but like there's a little piece missing. Then they bring in Julio and his impact on guys like Raffy and whoever else. Like he was the missing piece.
The perfect piece.
Yeah, he really was.
And what David Dombrowski did, how he handled that contract is still one of the finest negotiations I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like saying, hey, bro, like, go do your thing. Like, if you think you can do better, let us know. And then you end up coming back and this is what it is. Like, couldn't have been a more perfect fit. What he did, like, dude, that first season, I know we talk a lot about Justin Turner. And, I was thinking about this the other day when we were having the conversation. As much credit, like we talked about what Justin Turner has done this year, knocking runs in. JD Martinez was doing that exact thing his first year while being, arguably or one of the top 5 hitters in all of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is easy to forget, I think, for some people, especially because he was so up and down those last couple of years where you were clinging. You're like, oh, I want that 2018 JD Martinez. That was one of the most scary hitters you could run into in the sport at the time.
Yep. So. Won't see JD, won't see Joe Kelly, but you will see Mookie Betts if the weather permitting. Weather permitting. If if you're going to the game, you're not going to need sunglasses, but you should still get them anyway. We're in the heat of the summer. You need a pair of great shades that you don't have to baby. Knockaround Sunglasses is the go-to for quality polarized shades that won't break the bank. Plus, they just released their first set of teams, their official MLB collection, including the Red Sox and the Yankees, as well as U.S. official soccer team sunglasses. So you can get a little something extra on your game day outfit for this summer's big games. Don't be the person that's squinting into the sun or worried about getting sand on their overpriced sunglasses. Check out knockaround.com for great polarized shades starting at just $28. Use the promo code ROCKET, and that'll get you free shipping on your order. Now it is time for the Stop and Shop Look Ahead, brought to you by Stop and Shop. Head on down to Stop and Shop. Use the promo code SECTION10, and that'll get you 10 cents off each tangerine when you buy at least 5 pounds of tangerines only at Stop and Shop using the promo code SECTION10. So this, let's see, Red Sox. Let me just double check what we've got listed here. What's officially announced? We've got TBD. So that's probably going to be what? Cutter?
Yeah, Cora said it after today's game.
Okay. Not on the website. Cutter Crawford versus Lance Lynn. In the first game, James Paxton versus Julio Urias. And then Tanner Houck back on the bump. And we do not know who's going to go for the Deweyers.
And they have not announced it. Like, that's just, I think they're going to see what the next couple days are and go from there.
Yeah.
But wait. Teams other than the Red Sox don't have a starter lined up? Yeah. I thought that was only the Red Sox that did that.
Right.
Huh? What?
Right.
Jesus. It's almost like that's baseball today,
right?
Huh?
Cutter Crawford, maybe the most underappreciated arm the Red Sox have had all year. By game score, Crawford's 6 innings, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 5 Ks, and 1 home run against the Yankees was his second best outing of the year. The Cubs game was the only one that was better. His numbers in August have been excellent. The FIP is a little scary. 2.84 ERA, but it's a 4.85 FIP, which is a little bit odd, right? Only 19 innings and 4 starts. It'd be great if you could get through 5 every start. Fastball's been excellent this month. Red Sox are 10-14 when he pitches, 8-8 in his starts versus Lance Lynn. And you may be thinking, isn't he that shitty guy from the White Sox? Well, ever since he got traded to the Dodgers, he's been very fucking good. Throw out his stats with the White Sox, because in 4 starts with the Dodgers and their demon magic laboratory that they have, he's 3-0 with a 1.44 ERA, an 0.88 whip, and a 9 strikeouts per 9. 25 innings, 17 hits, 4 earned runs, 5 walks, 25 strikeouts, 4 home runs. Every earned run that he's allowed as a Dodger has been on a home run. His last 2 starts, 12 innings, 8 hits, 1 run, 0 of them earned, 2 walks, 12 strikeouts. So there you go. He's been great. 4-0 when he pitches for the Dodgers. James Paxton, 7-4, 3.79 ERA, 1.22 whip. The good news and bad news. The good news is that the game is at home, where in 7 starts, James Paxton has a 2.58 ERA. And a 10.6 strikeouts per 9. The bad news is that the Dodgers are a team with a winning record. And in 7 starts against teams with winning records, James Paxton has a 5.25 ERA, which is not good. He's allowed 14 home runs this year, 6 of which have come in his 4 starts in August. Problematic. Red Sox are 7-10 when he starts, and they've lost 4 of their last 5. Julio Urias, 11-6, 4.15 ERA, 1.09 whip, 8.8 strikeouts per 9. He's kind of had a bit of a letdown year. His ERA is basically 2 runs higher than last year. And he's already allowed more earned runs in 68 2/3 fewer innings pitched. Did have a hamstring injury that cost him about 6 weeks this year. Since returning on July 1st, he's been a bit better than his regular season numbers. 7-2, a 3.88 ERA, a 3.17 FIP. He's only allowed 18 home runs this year, only 4 of which have come since July 1st. Dodgers 13-6 when he pitches, and they have won 5 straight. And then in the finale, Tanner Houck 3-7 with a 5.08 ERA. The line, as we talked about in his return, pretty good. We'll take it, right? 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned. Gave up the homer. 17 batted balls, only 4 were hit hard. Batters were 2 for 4 with a single, and the Tucker home run on the hard hit balls. Average velocity looked good, just a shade above his season average. He got 14 ground balls, only allowed 3 balls in the air. Red Sox are 6-8 when Tanner Houck pitches this season. And again, we do not know who's going up against Tanner Houck in the finale, which is on Sunday. It's a 1:10 game. Okay. Cutter Crawford versus Lance Lynn, James Paxton versus Julio Urias, and Tanner Houck versus TBD. Tyler, your prediction for this Dodgers series?
So I don't know. I've gone back and forth, and part of me is like, this is going to be the Mookie Betts like fuck you day like series where all you're going to hear on TV and radio like, oh, Mookie Betts is going to hit 3 homers over the weekend and make you feel like dog shit. But I don't know. Feels like the Red Sox have some nice momentum coming off this Houston series. I think you're going to see a lot of guys get up for this series, like the Alex Verdugos, the Connor Wongs, Justin Turner against his former team, like we talked about. So I think the Red Sox actually show out. I'm going to have them taking 2 out of 3 in this series. I do think they come away, and I think Mookie's going to have his moments. Don't get me wrong. There's going to be a couple Mookie moments in there, but I think the Red Sox come out of this series and they punch back and they build some momentum going into that Houston series and continue just to make things interesting.
Jake, what are you thinking for this series?
Got the Red Sox taking all 3 this weekend.
All 3.
Sweet.
You got a sweep.
Got a sweep.
What do you got Mookie doing?
He'll probably have some moments.
Mm.
I mean, I kind of want to see that too, but I don't want to lose any games. So sweet.
Right. Okay. That's fair. I'm going to go 1 out of 3 and be a Debbie Downer.
Well, it's okay.
Yeah.
So why? What do you think? Is it the Mookie weekend?
No, I don't even. It's just the Dodgers are really fucking good. Yeah, the Dodgers are really good. James Paxton has been disappointing, and I don't want to say Houck's due for a stinker. It's his second game back, but I mean, it's a really good lineup. Yeah, I think they win the Cutter game and lose the other 2.
I don't think that's overly unfair. Now, when it comes to Paxton, starting on Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't know.
The Dodgers have 2 of the best hitters in baseball against lefties, and that would be Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts. So if there's going to
both of those guys,
if there's going to be a Mookie Betts game, it's going to be the Paxton start.
Yeah, and you look at Paxton when he's had to start on regular rest, it's a 9 ERA. I think it's 4 starts as a sample size, so small. Don't get me wrong, but he said on Monday that he didn't feel like the ball was coming out super well out of his hand. Mm-hmm. It's what you're playing with a guy who's coming off Tommy John surgery.
Yeah. Yep. I got 1 out of 3. They'll take the Cutter game, and we'll be back here talking about fucking Mookie Betts on Sunday. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I mean, it's gonna fucking rain, so maybe that jumbles up the matchups. I don't know. We'll see.
Are you gonna be there tomorrow?
Not if it's raining. I mean, I was gonna go.
Don't blame me.
I was gonna go because I wanted to interview JD, but he's not gonna be there, so fuck it.
I'll be there Monday.
Monday, you say?
Milliken and Fenway Park on Monday.
Wow. To what do we owe the honor?
Just out with the boys.
Oh, gang.
Gang with the crew.
Wow. How many
Brockton boys.
How many people are going?
Including me, you'll be 5.
Wow.
We'll be out on the bleachers. We're having fun.
I'll come sit with you guys.
Okay. You're always welcome. Jake, you as well. You guys are my boys.
No, it doesn't sound like Jake wants to go with you.
Jake actually looks like he really wants to come, don't you?
I don't do Mondays.
Yeah.
Oh, Monday. You're out on Mondays.
Yeah,
sorry.
Jake doesn't do Mondays.
What about you?
I don't do Mondays either.
Oh, you're adding it to the list? Fuck both of you.
I mean, I'm a Friday, Tuesday guy. You know that.
Worst days.
I mean, those are the days I got. I'll be there Saturday with my dad.
Papa.
It's supposed to fucking rain, though. It's going to suck
Papa.
ass.
Hey, rain. Maybe it'll be peaceful outside.
No.
No, I'm sorry.
No. All right. Any final thoughts? You want to give a shout out to some random slapdick that no one gives a fuck about?
Actually, I do. Nick York had a couple rough months in June and July.
He is not a random slapdick. We love Nick York.
No, but minor leaguer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Has really heated up in August. Could really use a strong finish to the year. 313, 387, 522. OPS is over 900. Walk rate's up to 8%, and he's not striking out a ton at 21% either. He should be right in line for a promotion to AAA. And for people wondering what's up with Marcel Meyer, he's resumed baseball activities. Still not a game action yet, but hopefully within the next week or so, we're starting to have that conversation. So, yeah, that middle infield crew that we're all waiting for to push through. And, I know a lot of people are hoping maybe Marcel Meyer could somehow start making noise or push to AAA this year. That's not going to happen, but it'd be nice if he could finish the year on a strong note, too.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Of course.
All right. Jake's takes. Anything? You got anything going on, Jake?
I'm just already dreading the phone call from my dad tomorrow night being like, what fucking channel is the Red Sox game on? Happens every time. And then I spend 20 minutes trying to teach him how to sign in and he can never figure it out.
God. Apple TV, baby. Apple TV. Catch the fever. Apple TV on fucking Friday night.
I'll let people know now. Don't expect whoever that person is that posts videos to be posting videos because it does not work with Apple TV.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Steve Jobs will get you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Enjoy your weekend against the Dodgers, and let's reconvene on Sunday night. Okay, bye.
See you then, boys.
Buenas noches, amigos.